So right now we're outside of our State Street campus where students learn everything about video production, from in front of the camera to behind the scenes and editing. Follow me. Hello, I'm Titus Williams, and today I'm going to take you on a tour of the Illinois Media School where broadcasting careers begin. Follow me. So now I'm going to take you into the TriCaster control room. The control room is where you create all of your virtual sets, whether you want something as simple as sitting behind the desk or driving a car. The control room is where you make your imagination become a reality. Alright, come with me into the green room where the video that we shoot here goes directly to the control room. Follow me. So now you're in one of our classrooms. We have one of two here over at the State Street campus. These computers are what you edit your video footage on. We use a software called Final Cut Pro. Alright, coming to the other classroom with me where we have a lot more computers for editing on Final Cut Pro. This is one of the cameras that we use here at the school. You can take it out and record your class projects outside, and then just bring it back, and the footage that you recorded onto the camera, you will use to edit in Final Cut Pro. So now we're going to go and talk to the assistant program director of our internet radio station, ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, Evan Mack.
Bulls beat the Kings 107-102 to stop a two-game skid. Jimmy Butler sat out resting his knee. Etuan Moore led Chicago in scoring with 24. Around the association, the Warriors beat the Wizards 134-121 behind Steph Curry's 51 points. Hornets beat the Cavs 106-97 behind a big third quarter where they outscored Cleveland 33-17. Jeremy Lin had 24 points as his team stopped the Cavs winning streak at 5. No upsets in the men's college hoops last night. Number 5, Iowa throttled Penn State 73-49. Number 4, Maryland beat Nebraska 70-65. Doubleheader on TNT tonight for the NBA. The Knicks play the Pistons at 6. Lakers play the Pelicans at 8:30. NFL Panthers linebacker Thomas Davis was a full participant in practice yesterday despite a broken arm. He wore a protective cast over it. Defensive end Gerard was limited with a broken foot. This has been your ChicagolandSportsRadio.com update brought to you by the Illinois Media School. For more information, please go to meonair.com. I'm Evan Mack. So I'm Evan Mack, host of Mack and Reed, every Monday from 12 to 3 p.m. on ChicagolandSportsRadio.com, and I happen to be the assistant program director as well for this station. So I help students structure their shows effectively, make sure they can write sports updates, and have a lot of fun doing it. Whether they have a show that's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, it doesn't matter. All you need is a podcast, a promo, and your creative drive, and you can pursue your dreams of being a sports broadcaster here.
So now that you heard from Assistant Program Director Evan Mack, I'm going to take you on a tour of Chicagoland Sports Radio Studio. Follow me. Right here, CSR Studio Board. This is where you go on air live for your radio show. So whether if you're behind the mic or you learn how to go on the board for your own show, you can. There are also sports shows right there to let you know, hey, what day your show comes on. So now we're outside of our LaSalle campus where students come here to learn audio production. So right now we are in one of our 13 studios where students come and record their projects. We use a software called Adobe Audition. So after you're done recording audio in the studio, you can come into one of these classrooms right here to edit your audio. So now we're at the LaSalle campus where Windy City Underground is. We're going to go and talk to the assistant program director, Ricky Cow. Come on, follow me.
WindyCityUnderground.com, your music, your station. Welcome back to the Ricky Rampage radio show. And yes, it's your boy Ricky Rampage, blazing your airways right now. And check this out. At Windy City Underground, we give all artists a chance to be heard, from hip-hop and R&B to pop, rock, and gospel. Just log on to WindyCityUnderground.com and click Submit Music. It's that easy. Come on, man. What are y'all waiting for, man? Don't you wait. Be heard today, man. That's WindyCityUnderground.com, your music, your station. The question of the day, man, the Mega Millions, man, the lottery, $1.4 billion. That's crazy, man. And the ticket's only $2. If you won the lottery today. $1.4 billion. What would you do? Call me 312-564-7370 right here, WindyCityUnderground.com. Coming up next, we got Tink with Million right here on WindyCityUnderground.com. Your music, your station. Let's go! Hey. Yo, what's up, everybody? My name is Ricky Cowan, aka Ricky Rampage, Assistant Program Director of Windy City Underground. And what you just saw was a little snippet of what our media personalities, our interns, and our students do right here in this studio. We just promote all underground independent music while at the same time create media personalities and get them into the business. So if you want to be a part of the broadcasting industry, man, check out WindyCityUnderground.com. Your music, your station.
So that was a tour of both our buildings, LaSalle and State Street campus. I hope you enjoyed the tour. If you have any more questions, call 312-884-8000 or visit our website at beonair.com.
And so from that point, I graduated after my internship, went back to school, of course, but I stayed in touch. And then the big moment comes, I'm going to get a job. I have an internship under my belt. I know these people. I know Joe Tate. I know Ernie Harwell. I know Vince Bagley. Wow, I've got all these references. And I start sending them out. Cassettes, letters, rejection, 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 nothing, zero, nothing. And the only nibble I got was in Amsterdam, New York, and in the Mohawk Valley. And they said, we have an opening for news. I'll take it. I just want to get my foot in the door. I'll take it. Well, we have a guy here that we think maybe, and never heard back. So finally, I decide I'm going to grad school. I'm going to grad school. Are we good? Okay. We're going to grad school at the University of Washington. And so I'm enrolled, ready to go in the University of Washington. A week before I start, out of the blue, I get a call at home. And it's from KIRO Radio, Cairo Radio in Seattle. And they said, hey, we were going through a list of resumes and we found yours. And are you interested in coming down because we have an opening in the sports department for a glorified gopher? And I said, done. And here, a resume I had sent 7 months before. 7 months had been sitting probably in a box, maybe not open, maybe they decided whatever happened. And all I remember is I'm in a meeting with the sports director and with the program manager, and he was saying, okay, let's see, you have your degree, that's very, very good. You have an internship, good, and here's what you did. And your references, we're gonna call you reference. Is that all right? Is everything on this resume legit? You did graduate, right? Yes, sir. You have these references, like they just aren't random names that, no, you can call them. Okay, they called 2 of the 3 references. They called Ernie Harwell and they called Vince Bagley. And so I got the job. So I'm there and I did everything. I was a glorified gopher. But it was a glorified gopher where I showed up an hour and a half before my shift, and I was the last one to leave. I was a gym rat, so to speak, to use a basketball terminology. And after a year and a half, my boss, Pete Gross, God rest his soul, he was the broadcaster for the Seattle Seahawks and the University of Washington. He came to me and he said, you know, you're the 3rd man on a 2-man staff, and you need to grow and flourish. You've spent your time here. You're ready for the next step. Get a job where you can really do your thing. So I said, okay, and he helped me. And I got a job doing talk radio in Columbus, Ohio at WBNS. And I was there from February, and then in July, out of the blue, the phone rings in our newsroom. And this person says, Chuck Swirsky? Yes. This is so-and-so from a broadcast company, and your name's come up, and we'd like you to record tonight's sports talk show and send it to us because you're under consideration for a job. And I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a friend of mine. Thank you. And we're going to get to these questions in a second, I promise. I just want to finish this statement. I thought it was a joke, and I hung up on him. I said, yeah, right, thank you. I thought it was a friend of mine. He calls back a minute and a half later and says, this is not a joke, and if you hang up on me again, you're definitely not going to be under consideration for this job. So I said, wow. So I sent him a tape, and the next thing I know, WCFL called. They were going through a transition from music in Chicago to news and talk in Marina Towers, right down the street here in Chicago. And they flew me in for an interview. I got the job. I was on from 7 until 11 o'clock at night. And the first night I'm on the air, there was the log, and the log had all commercials. Nowadays, everything's digital, but in those days, it was a piece of paper. And you saw the commercials, how many, the commercials, when you had the, toss for a break, everything. Well, I'm going to do this visually for our viewers and other campuses. But I got there, and I'm fired up. First day, we had a practice, all that. So finally, I get the chair. And now this Chicago, and I'm 25 years young, doing a sports talk. And so I sit there, and can someone tell me what's here? What's on the back of this? Nothing. Correct. It's blank. So I sit down and I said, our engineer, Ed Murphy, who's still working in our business. I said, Ed, I'm going over this log and these are blank pieces of paper. What's up? He goes, they didn't tell you? You just joined the lowest rated station in American broadcast history. No one listens, and that's because no one's buying commercials either. I said, what? And he says, yeah. He goes, you know what? And so remember, I'm on 4 hours a night. We didn't get a call. I'm saying, hey, this is my first night in Chicago. Let's talk some sports. And I'm giving the number out, and it's like, no one's calling. And I ended up interviewing myself. Chuck, what do you think of the Cubs? Well, Dave Kingman. I'm thinking like, okay, where am I at? But as one thing led to the next, and then from WCFL, the Loop heard me, and I was with WLUP for a little over a year, and then WGN came out of nowhere. I was there for close to 14 years. So we're going to talk more about that, but I do want to get calls, some questions, by the way. Courtney from Chicago. What do you do to keep excitement when the Bulls are playing badly? Well, we've been fortunate because for 6 years, who is Courtney, by the way? Oh, okay. Fortunately, the Bulls haven't played that badly for 6 years, but there are nights when, like all teams, they just don't have it. But you can't control the scoreboard. This is very important. You have no control over the scoreboard. What you can control is your focus and your drive and your energy level. Now, if they're down by 20, you can't act like they're up by 20. Hey, the Bulls are down by 20, but hey. No, you can't do that. I mean, you have to be professional. But that doesn't mean that you take plays off or you're goofing around on the air and you're ripping people left and right. You have to report what you see. But, I mean, it's going to happen. For pro sports, I always look at it this way. There are probably going to be 10 games where you win that you're probably supposed to lose. There are going to be 10 games where you lose that you were probably expected to win. And then in that 60-game pocket in an NBA schedule, you're going to find a consistency about your team. And, I mean, you got to have players. Let's be honest. You can have the greatest coach in the world. If you don't have players, you're not going to win. I don't care if you don't have a pitching staff in baseball, not going to get it done. Not going to get it done. And so, but as a broadcaster, you can get it done by making sure that you're completely focused and you continue to have that complete commitment to a game and you don't take possessions off. Just like I look at it this way. I learned a lot about a player in the NBA during a blowout, either up or down, because it's easy when it's a tight game to see, okay, every player is engaged and they're into it and whatnot. But when you're getting blown out, does that guy hustle back on defense? Does that guy really just take possessions off? Does that guy seem like he's thinking about, hey, you know what, I just saw somebody who's pretty hot in the fourth row and I got to get her number. Who knows? You don't know what goes through the mind. But, you can't, a player, you got to make sure you stay focused for 48 minutes, just like a broadcaster. Okay, here's another one. Terry from Cleveland. Bob Tayak is now head communications for the Catholic Diocese of Cleveland and PA announcer for the Indians. Well, if you ever see Bob, give him my best. Great man, and I love him. Wow, I did not know that. Thank you. Very good. Kendall from Cincinnati. What's one thing I should focus on becoming for a play-by-play announcer? Very good question, Kendall. And again, if you have text, they know how to reach. Okay, so one thing I should focus on becoming a play-by-play announcer. Always be yourself. Always be yourself. Never try and be somebody that you are not. Everyone of us in this room, in Cincinnati, Columbus, Denver, Lombard, Miami, wherever, everyone is unique, and that's the beauty of sport. It's the beauty of broadcasting. I'm watching the World Cup, and I'm hearing these different announcers, and they have it down. They are good. They are really good. And I did soccer. I did the Chicago Sting, and I wasn't very good. You have to know your strengths, and you have to know your weaknesses. And I admire people who can do a great call. Doc Emmerich, to me, you could put him at baseball, football, basketball, whatever. I've known Doc 30 years. He is awesome. He is a great hockey announcer, maybe the best that's ever lived. Maybe the best, probably on a Mount Rushmore of announcers, period. But you got to be yourself. You can't be, if you go in to say, I want to be Dick Enberg, I want to be Al Michaels, I want to be Bob Costas. Well, those are all great goals, but you know what? Worry about being yourself. Yourself. That's all. So that's a good question.
But we want to introduce our guest for the morning. Dr. Gerard McClendon is an Emmy award-winning talk show host and professor and author. He's hosted the McClendon Report, Gerard McClendon on CLTV, and his Emmy Award was for Best Host on the PBS show, The Challenge of Raising Black Boys. He is also the author of Ask, The African American Guide to Better English, and is an assistant professor at Chicago State University. He also runs the Milton and Ruby McClendon Memorial Education Foundation, and he earned his PhD in education. Yay, I'm a former teacher. From Loyola University, and lives in Chicago with his wife, Q. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Gerard McClendon.
It's good being here today. It really is. It really is. I like to get a feel for the room, though. I like to get to know everyone. I don't have that much time today because I got to get on a flight, but I do want to get to know everyone in the room quickly here. So if we could just quickly go around the room, give me your name and what you plan to do with your media savvy. Let's start right here.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I'm a producer.
You want to produce? Oh, let me write this down. Okay. You want to produce? What do you want to produce?
Starting news.
Okay.
Live news.
Okay, good, Ashley. Next to you, what's your name?
Brandon Wright.
Brandon, what's up, Brandon?
I'm good.
What do you want to do?
TV personnel.
TV?
Personnel, kind of like a host, anchor.
Okay.
Talk show.
Okay. You got all that personality to do that?
Oh, yeah.
That'll work. I can tell. That'll work, Brandon. Let's keep it going. Let's see. Let me go right here.
I'm Jimmy, and I'm an aspiring director.
What do you want to direct?
Music videos, short films, documentaries, anything.
You guys got cell phones? Yeah. Lock me in right now. My number is 800-975-6044. I got to hook up. Y'all need to stay in touch with me. 800-975-6044. Yeah. So I'm glad he said that. 800-975-6044. I'm glad you said. Just left. My son's in Atlanta. My son's 23 years old. He He's a music producer. He just got off the 2 different sets of music videos. You know, Atlanta's the hot place right now, speaking of which. Good, Jimmy. You have your own camera yet?
Yeah.
What you got?
Canon Rebel T5.
Okay, you the man. Good. Let's keep it moving.
I'm Johnny. I want to have a production company or something, so I don't want to direct, but I want to be around, the cameras and all that stuff.
Okay, good. So you want to own a production company?
Yeah, well,
Okay.
the head of it, what I'm
Okay. Good. What kind of production?
saying? Music videos.
That'll work.
Regarding like hip hop, the culture, and all that stuff.
That'll work. Good, Johnny. Yes, sir.
I want to do like radio, some music too, like entertainment radio.
You want to do radio? Okay. Charlemagne the God. Y'all know nothing about that. Y'all know about that Charlemagne, that Breakfast Club. Charlemagne, a good friend of mine. He's ridiculous. Oh, God, he's ridiculous. Oh, he will say anything. Only he can get away with that. So most people can't get. Yes.
Name's Brian.
Hey, Brian, what do you want to do?
Radio personality, own my own company, start my own brand.
Okay. Good. Yes.
Well, my name is Maria. I want to be a sports broadcaster.
Really? Okay. You need to hook up with a good friend of mine who just started a show in the city, an internet sports show. Good, Maria. Okay, good. Yes.
I'm Cole.
Cole, what's up, man? Talk to me. What do you want to do?
Something entertaining.
Something entertaining? You want to be an entertainer or you want to produce entertainment?
No, I want to be entertaining.
What do you want to do? You juggle? You comedy? You rap? What do you do?
Juggling, yeah. I work the streets.
Oh, you okay? Radio and TV? Okay. You think you got the voice for that, man? You think you got it? Okay. You got strong opinions, don't you? Okay. Good. Yes.
My name is Gina, and I'm going to be a director.
What do you want to direct?
Videos, like documentaries, anything. Like my brother, he goes to school to be a physical trainer.
Okay.
So I can do his videos and all types of stuff. Just send what you want me to do, I'll do it.
Okay, good. Excellent. Let's go with the young lady next to you. Yes.
Ari.
You're Ari? Talk to me, Ari. What do you want to do?
I want to start out as a radio personality and end up owning my own station.
Okay, good. Terrestrial radio is still where it's at. Everyone's oh, internet, everything's internet. When you get in a car, you don't really have time to fumble around with internet. You got time to what? Push a button. Radio is hot. Bill Curtis used to be a reporter for Channel 2 News. He also does those shows on Lifetime and A&E, the forensic shows. He said radio is the last woman and the last man standing because it's the simplest form of media, but it's still the most powerful because everyone out here right now, that's State Street, right? They've got a radio on. They're not fumbling around. Someone might be goofing around with internet. None of them are watching TV, but they got that radio on. Radio is hot. Very, very influential, Ari. Good. Yes. Serenity. What do you want to do? Okay. All these, personality. This is good. Okay. Yes, sir.
Justin.
Hey, Justin. What do you want to do?
Radio personality, producer,
Okay.
sports analyst,
The whole 9. Okay, might as well take 10. Yes. You got that Mets hat on? Oh, man. That is sharp, though.
I'm just trolling.
I'm a Cub fan. It's all good. The hat is nice. What's your name?
Jeff Trailer.
Jeff, what do you want to do, man?
Camera work, stuff like that, at the TV station, work behind the scenes and stuff.
Okay. Okay, good. And got you two already. Yes. What's the name? Dave. How you doing, man?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
What do you want to do, Dave?
I'm into a lot of marketing and sales.
Marketing. I like. That's the heartbeat of media, man. You know, good. Cheryl Pearson McNeil's a good friend of mine. She's Vice President of Nielsen Ratings. Yeah, good buddy of mine. Anyone else? Good. Okay, this is excellent. I'll make it quick today. I'm not going to show really any of my demo stuff today. You can always go to my website and see it. But it's important to build a website or build your own app, all right? Or start a blog. The world needs to know who you are, all right? As long as you remain anonymous, you're not going to get hired. You can't create any heat in the streets. You know, people are not going to feel you. You got to immediately get out there and start making some noise, all right? And you have to start producing something. So the thing is, everyone says, well, I want to be a producer. I want to be a personality. And then you ask a person, let me see your stuff. And then they're like, oh, I ain't quite got it yet. Then you're not a producer. You want to be a producer, rapper, recording artist, fashion designer, writer, blogger, but you don't have anything to show me? You're not for real. Because there's someone that wants to do the same thing you want to do. They got up an hour earlier than you this morning, and they will go to bed an hour later because they're grinding.
For me, as football guy, as a jock, as somebody who didn't study broadcasting, I wasn't a journalism major in school, there are some things that felt natural, that came naturally to me in the television or in radio that I was able to get into fairly quickly. But for me, I'm always trying to get new skills and develop new ideas, new concepts. I've gotten to produce features over the years. Actually, I work and I've brought a few business cards with me as well, that if anybody, after we finish, wants to come grab a card from me, got a few cards. But I also work with the Arena Football League. I'm the Senior Vice President of Communications for the AFL, our office. We got one in the River North area, one over in Des Plaines. We got an office out in Vegas. And so I get to work as an executive in the business as well. And so for me, on a day in, day out basis, I'm in the office during the week. I'm negotiating our television deals we have with ESPN and CBS during the Arena football season in the spring and summer. I'm training the various media departments that we have around the league. We've got 8 different teams around the league. We got a lot of teams out west and like Portland and Los Angeles and other cities. We've got teams down in Florida, a couple of other teams down south. So I get to see a lot of different angles of the business. It's not because I wanted to grow up and be a sports executive. It just something through relationships I developed, things that I enjoyed pursuing. This opportunity came available a few years ago. The commissioner of the league ended up trusting me to do this. And so that's been more amazing experience that I've had getting to be in the business as well. And it's really aided me as a broadcaster to get to see that part of the business, that side of how deals get set up. And for me to work with our digital partners, we broadcast games online with ESPN3. Prior to that, I had a deal I set up with CBS Interactive. Prior to that, I had a deal I set up with Ustream. Prior to that, I had a separate digital partner. And so whether it's the digital media, radio deals with SiriusXM or different local vendors we have, I get to see a lot of different areas of media, of entertainment. I don't know 10 years from now what I'm going to be doing in media and entertainment, but I do know from the various angles of the industry that I've gotten to see at this point. I know I enjoy it. I know I've gotten a lot out of it. And for me, whether it's the versatility on the air or being able to just enjoy different things that I do in front of the camera and behind, I know it's a fun business. It can be a very frustrating business. I did, believe it or not, hear no quite a bit, and still to this day, I hear no quite a bit. Even something as simple as earlier today. I mean, Jamie and I were laughing about it today. There's a digital sports network here in Chicago called 120 Sports, and they gutted the old Harpo studios that Oprah used to own. And so Oprah's completely out of there now. She's out in Los Angeles. And Jerry Reinsdorf, who owns the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago White Sox, he's got a company called Silver Chalice, and they've got multiple digital sports networks that they run out of the old Harpo studios. Sometimes they have me do something, sometimes they don't. I knew this initial chunk of the year I was going to have a little more time available because my college football season ends with like an event like I did right there, the U.S. Army Bowl, which is a high school All-America game. It's really a difficult broadcast because I don't cover high school football throughout the year, but I do some events for NBC. So games like the Bayou Classic, where Grambling and Southern play each other down in New Orleans. I don't cover the SWAC, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, throughout the season. So that midterm is a little bit more difficult going into that because I'm not paying attention to the SWAC throughout the year, but I get ready in time for the broadcast. Same thing with the U.S. Army Bowl. I'm not covering high school football, but leading into that game, it's a great opportunity down in San Antonio. Some of the best players in the country. If you follow college football, guys like Derrick Henry and Christian McCaffrey, who were the top 2 in the Heisman race this year, they were both in the U.S. Army Bowl. Saw them as high schoolers a couple of years back. Guys like Andrew Luck have been in the game, Adrian Peterson. So that's a cool event to do, but it's a very difficult broadcast. And the guys are declaring, they're on the air, they got the hats on the table, and they're switching them back and forth, declaring their school. So things like that are things that I enjoy doing, but there's all that preparation, all that work that goes into it on the front end to have yourself ready to be able to manage that level of broadcast. So I think opportunity is a big word that I think all of us, and the fact that you're here, I think means you realize that opportunity and the pursuit of those opportunities is huge in this industry, and versatility. If I leave you with any 2 things tonight, opportunity, the pursuit of those, and versatility within the industry, because if you do pigeonhole yourself, it's fine. There's people who do it. There's people who do it at a very successful level. But I'd like to consider myself an example of somebody who, while there is maybe a resume I come into the industry with, there's always somebody who's, whether, for me, I'm a Big Ten guy, like Paige referenced. I worked at the Big Ten Network the first few years at BTN. I eventually transitioned out of the Big Ten Network. I'm not a Pac-12 guy. I don't have ties to Pac-12 schools, but I got an opportunity with the Pac-12 Network. Who knows, maybe Reggie Bush retires next year and says, I want that guy's job. They may give it to him, no matter whether Reggie's been on television before or not. But there's always somebody who, because it's such a subjective type of business and how you get evaluated, whether it's the look, the sound, somebody may hate my voice, somebody may think my head's too pointy, whatever it comes down to. But my philosophy, whether it was as an athlete, as a coach, as someone in broadcast, media, entertainment, versatility, I think is key. You're going to figure out which lane suits you best, what you're best at. But to me, the more experience you have and how you try to develop that experience will help you continue to get opportunities if this is something that you think you want to pursue